Just pulling away from the campsite. As you can see, maybe not see in a minute here. We have some beautiful fog this morning, lit by the sun. Boy, I worked up quite a sweat getting the canoe loaded up. Got up about 5:15. It's now about 7:20. So it's Tuesday, September 1st. I believe this is the 8th day of my trip. Oh, I'm in fog. Especially when it's lit up by the sun. Nice and calm this morning, but winds are supposed to pick up later on. 5 to 15 miles an hour with gusts up to 25. But we're not going to be spending a lot of time on the water, so. Once we get a little bit further up here, I'm going to stop and filter some water. And we're coming up to the 50-rod portage to Misquah Lake. 50 rods. Whew. Looks at what, 250 meters? Something like that. Not a super long one, and don't know what it's like though. I think it's straight ahead here. Looks like it's straight ahead. The campsite on the west side of Vista was empty. The other campsite I thought was empty. Oops, it looks like maybe the portage is over this way. Over to the right here. I thought the other campsite might be empty, but after I got past it, I heard some voices and some laughter, so not empty after all. This looks like another rock garden. Okay, another puzzle to figure out. Okay, taking off from the landing, the portage from Vista to Misquah. Landing on this end wasn't too awfully tough, not nearly as bad as the other end. I've had better, of course, but far worse too. So now I gotta get turned around on Misquah. So it looks like it basically goes straight down towards that big tree down there. Should be off to the left of that a little bit. The one campsite on the lake is almost right next to the portage. The campsite is just to the left here. Looks like it's empty. Back in the woods in the shade. Portage should be down in the notch here somewhere. Campsite doesn't look like a very nice one. What I can see of it from the water. Guess that's the portage there. Okay. Whoa. Yeah, I think what I thought was the campsite must be the portage. In which case, I don't know where the campsite is. It's a really nasty landing. How do I get through this? So that's right here. Oh. Whoa. step in that hole. So that's the landing, such as it is. Kitchen area. Looks like a usable tent pad here. Wide open areas back here, but I don't see any tent pads close by. I've had better campsites, but I've had a lot worse, including last night's. Not quite sure where I'm going to put up my tarp. There's supposed to be a chance of rain tonight, so I do want to put my tarp up somewhere. Might be able to put it over here. There's a small tent pad for a small tent right here. Yeah, I think I can put my tarp up in here. So, out of the 3 campsites, all of which were open, available, this appears to be the best bet. So, unless I want to do I've got 4 or 5 more portages today, which I don't. I think we're going to call this home. What do you think, Sam? Think we can call this home? Think we can call this home? Yeah. Well, there's some happier feet right there. Oh. And back here is a happier back. Oh, my back is killing me. I love this chair though. Well, I did that portage. That portage I was kind of fearing. Got her done. Took me about 2.5 hours, including a snack break, a lunch break, and a couple of water breaks, and a couple of just rest breaks. I double portaged most of it, but some of it I triple portaged the hills. I just couldn't see getting up those hills with a pack on my back and a canoe. They were just too steep. So that's the third toughest portage I've ever been on. First one being the one from Seagull to Peterson, or Jap Lake, as some people call it. That one goes over something like 4 hills. None of them quite as steep as these on this portage, but on the other hand, it's long. I can't remember how long it is, but it's a long portage. I'll have to look it up sometime. Second worst portage was the one I did last year twice. The one from Missing Link over to Tuscarora, with all those mud holes and everything. And of course, what, over 400 rods or something. I can't remember exactly on that either, but I know that's a long one. So this one, shorter than either of those two. 2 big hills, very steep hills. Made even tougher because of the rain yesterday. The rocks and roots were slippery. There were muddy parts, really tough in places to get a good footing. That's why I didn't take the pack and the canoe up those hills, because it was just too slippery. Although that last hill, I did take my camera bag and the canoe up that one, but that wasn't quite as bad as the first hill. And then on this portage, you throw in a big boulder field on each end, which unfortunately my one camera ran out of batteries before I got to show going across that. The boulder field on this end was even worse than the boulder field on the other end that you did see. And, you know, neither one of the landings were very good. At least the Missing Link to Tuscarora had nice landings on each end. Yeah, this one wasn't quite as bad as the Missing Link to Tuscarora. And partly because of the length. It was over and done with relatively quickly. So anyway, here I am on Little Trout Lake. Quite a breeze blowing out there, but this campsite's somewhat sheltered from it. Supposed to get some rain tonight, but then tomorrow's supposed to be sunny again, but even stronger winds. But thankfully, I have nothing but small lakes tomorrow. I'm probably going to go out tomorrow. It kind of depends on what time it is when I get to Ram, but it's supposed to get rain on Thursday. I mean, I could hold up on Ram for a night, an extra night, and go out on Friday. When you're only 90 rods away from being done, it's kind of, why bother? Although if I find a 5-star campsite down there, that might change my mind. I'll have to kind of play it by ear. I do have enough food and stuff to get me through to Saturday. The earlier I can get out, the better. This is Labor Day weekend coming up, and I want to try to avoid as much of the holiday traffic as I can, so the earlier I can get out, the better. Shouldn't be too bad on Friday, but there'll be the people that come up early. Thursday would just be better, or Wednesday would be even better still. We'll kind of play it by ear once I get down there, but right now I'm going to try to go all the way out tomorrow. Okay, I do have 1, 2, 3, 4 portages to get out. The one from Little Trout into Rum Lake looks like quite a steep up and quite a steep down. I don't know, other than that, what that portage is like. Then a 55 from Rum to Kroft Lake. That one looks fairly flat. Of course, I don't know what the landings are like. Then an 80 rod to get into Rum Lake. That one looks like it's got a bit of a hill to start with, not too bad, and then flattens out. And then the 90 rod back to the parking lot, and that looks like it's a little bit of a hill climb to start with, and then flattens out. And then of course I got to walk down to the car and get the car and bring it back, so that's going to add some to it too. So while I've got the map out, I thought I'd show you what we did today. Started out from this campsite at the end of Vista Lake. Very, very poor campsite. Paddled down past this campsite, which was now vacant, and past that one, which had somebody at it. Came across this 50 rod portage. Now I don't remember too much about that portage. I think it was pretty rocky, if I remember right. Not the easiest portage in the world. But then I came down Misquah. I never did see that campsite. The map shows the portage starting right down at the bottom of the lake, and it actually started a little bit up the eastern shoreline. And I did that long portage. Goes over 2 hills, across the boardwalk, lots and lots and lots of boulders. Boulder field at both ends, very poor landings. And I came down here to Little Trout. I checked out this campsite first from the lake. Didn't have a very good landing at all. It didn't look like it was much of a campsite from the water. So then I came and I checked out the island campsite. Didn't like the looks of that either. Either the landing or the campsite from the water. So then I came back up and found this campsite. So from what I could see from the water, this is the best campsite on the lake. It could be that if you got into one of these two, it might be a little bit better. But this one had the best landing anyway, even though it's not a real good landing. At least it's a better landing than I saw here or here. So that's where I am currently, right behind this point. Well, it's dinner time. And dinner tonight is chicken fried rice with green peas, onions, carrots, mushrooms, and I guess it's got some red pepper in it too. I think I've had this before and it was good. Got some nice big chunks of chicken in it, that's for sure. Want to come up? Boy, do you ever. I did that portage today just fine. I mean, it took me a while, yes, but I knew it was going to take me a while. And yes, it was a tough portage. So I basically have seen nobody today at all. I heard people at that last campsite on Vista this morning, but I didn't see them. There was nobody on that portage with me. I had it all to myself. Took my time. I made it. And I made it here. And as far as I know, I'm still the only one on this lake, which means it's the second time this trip that I've had a lake to myself. Of course, the first time being the first day, the first night of the trip. So fitting bookends, although this site is nowhere as nice as that site was. Good morning. It is September 2nd, 2020, Wednesday I think that is, and I'm on Little Trout Lake, just packing up, getting ready to go for the day. Last night we had quite the thunderstorm come through between 10:30 and 11 o'clock. Lots of lightning and thunder, some of it fairly close. Lots of rain as well. Just partway through it, I heard a tree come down. Okay, there's my tent. Here's the tree that came down. Now, they always tell you to watch out for widowmakers around your tent, basically the dead trees that might come crashing down. But as you can see, this tree was not dead. This was good and alive. It fell right across the latrine trail. If I wasn't in a hurry to get out of here, I would bring my saw down and take care of it. Let's see, can we even get to the... I can't even get to... Oh yeah, maybe I can get to where it broke off. There it is, it just broke off right towards the base. Definitely not what you would consider a widowmaker, but it came awfully close to becoming one. Unfortunately, the forecast is now back to calling for 35-mile-an-hour gusts today. Winds are supposed to be 5 to 15, but like I said, 35-mile-an-hour gusts. Out of the west, I'm going to have following winds on 2 of the lakes I'm going on. And since I'm basically bow heavy, that's going to make it really tough to keep it pointed in the right direction. And I'm even more bow heavy than ever because my food pack goes in the back. And of course my food pack isn't as heavy as it was at the beginning of the trip, while my other pack has pretty much stayed the same. Well, I got up at 5:20 this morning. It's now 8 o'clock and we're on the water. Already got white caps on this lake. Well, I guess I should say we still have white caps on this lake. It's been windy all night. Oh, this is not going to be fun. Okay, coming up to the first portage of the day, I think. Should be down in here somewhere. Couldn't be down in the area where it was a little bit sheltered. It has to be out here in the open. Oh well. At least the boat won't float away. And that's the landing light. Okay, we're pulling away from the landing. We're now on Rum Lake. I had to triple portage, unfortunately. One thing, that hill that shows up on the map is definitely steep. I couldn't see carrying the canoe and a pack over that. I thought about carrying the canoe and the pack up to the foot of the hill, but the wind was so fierce on the other side that I knew I wouldn't be able to get the canoe on my shoulders back to my neck. So ended up triple portaging. I wish I'd filmed that, but I got the canoe on my shoulders and then realized I had Okay, quick paddle across Rum Lake. What time is it? It's 9:30. Hopefully I can double portage the rest of the portages today. If I have to triple all of them, it's going to make for a very long day. Second portage of the day. Relatively easy one. In fact, one of the easiest ones I've done in the whole trip. There's a little bit of a boulder field up here, but it's not too bad. And it gets kind of brushy for a while. The landing on this end wasn't too bad. It went out about camp for quite a while. A few rocks, but mostly soil between the rocks. So very good footing. It was sheltered from the wind just a little bit. Just enough wind to keep the canoe from floating away, but not so much that it was banging the canoe against the rocks. So just a little bit past 10, and we're taking a snack break up here. And then we'll hit the water again. So we're now on Kroft Lake. Battle almost to the end, and the portage is on the right side. Not a very big lake. We're now on Rum, the last lake of the trip. One more portage to go. That's the end of the water back to the road. Thing here. Morning. Wasn't prepared for this. Steps. Is gonna be it. Yeah, let's see that. Okay. Oh boy. This is gonna be fun. Well, once again, I forgot to turn the camera on. That was one interesting portage. First there was the stairs at the top, stairs to the top. I basically triple portaged up to that point. Partly because of the wind, partly because of the stairs. Then after that it goes steeply downhill. Not quite as steep as what it went up, but still pretty steep. And it goes along for a while. Then the path gets really nice, and then you have to go up over a little rise before you get to the parking lot. So I carried my food pack and all my loose stuff over on the first trip, and then went and got back and got my bedroom pack and the canoe. Carried them together most of the way back. After a while my shoulders were just screaming at me, so probably about 30 rods back I set the canoe down, brought the other pack the rest of the way, went back and got the canoe. So it's now about 12:35. So I thought I'd better have some lunch before I start the hike back to the Bower Trout entry point. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Now we had some road walking to do to get back to Bower Trout entry point in my car. Well, we're now on the driveway heading into Bower Trout. So basically the end of the trip, except of course I gotta get home yet. But it's been an interesting trip. I wish I'd enjoyed it more. I don't know why I didn't enjoy it more. Why I was having the hard times I was. I guess I probably never will know. But at least there weren't any major storms, no injuries, nothing like that. Although it sounds like the next few days could be interesting if I stayed around for the extra time. Then I could have ended up been down either back on Little Trout if I'd stayed there, or on Ram if I decided to go there. Tomorrow really sounds nasty. Friday's a little bit better, but for the sounds of things, I'm really glad I'm leaving today. It's kind of a hard struggle on the way out, that wind, but I did it. So guess we'll wrap up the trip here. Get my car, go back, pick up my gear, Rum Lake, and start heading for home. Thanks for watching. Nibi Mocs out.